Hello and welcome to the Just Another Castle podcast. I'm your host, Matt, and with me this week is our pro gamer, Mike. He's apparently dead. And our retro aficionado, Unoclay.
I muted myself.
And he's back!
I played some great music right over you, Mike. What up, guys? I was like, well, if Mike's not going to go, then I'm going to go. Epic entrance. How you guys doing?
That's what we do.
Mike doesn't speak. I play music at the wrong time. It's great.
Perfect start.
How you guys doing? Missed you last week. We had no podcast last week because we're awesome like that.
And my schedule sucks.
Yeah,
we do what we want. That's how it goes.
Yeah,
we do our own thing.
Yeah, I'm too busy playing the new Mario game, and by everyone I mean Matt, our courageous host and leader.
Speaking of, I've actually beaten the game now.
Wow. Like full 100%ed, no spoilers.
No. I mean, just like the main content.
Okay. Yeah, we're not going to spoil it for the listeners because me and Mike haven't even opened our copies yet.
Well,
so.
Unoclay hasn't even bought the dang thing yet.
I mean, I haven't. Mine's still in the plastic, but yeah.
I mean, like, I haven't bought it yet, but that's like a 4-minute drive to GameStop away when I want it, so I'm not worried about it. So awesome. What's your final score now that you've like spent a lot of time with the game? Is it a true 10 out of 10 or what? I love scores. I need to know a score. I need a number.
What would I grade it?
Grade it? What would you grade it?
I don't know. I guess like between I don't know. I didn't really think much of how I would score it when I was playing it, but I'm just gonna like throw out a random guess at like 8.5 or something like that.
8.5.
9.
Wow,
it is good. No, it is great.
11 out of 10.
But yeah.
11's across the board.
There are some like nitpicky things about it, I guess. Like, I think the worlds are probably as big or possibly bigger than 64s, but they don't feel big somehow. I don't know if that's some weird nostalgia thing or maybe just because of the way they design the levels.
It's not as big or it doesn't feel as big?
I don't know. Like, if I'm being honest, it's probably around the same size as other 64 levels, possibly bigger, but it doesn't feel like it when you're playing it, and I think that's because of the way they design the level. So in 64, it's like you select a star and you just roam around, and sometimes you can get other stars, whatever, whereas this one, it's like there's a strict... Well, it's not... I don't want to say strict. You still have an open like field to play around, but for the main missions, it's a very defined path sort of thing. I don't know. Something about it.
Mike, I can hear you typing.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, yeah.
I'm just going to call you out.
I'm writing everything you say, man.
Yeah.
He's transcribing.
Come on, secretary. Yeah, transcribing it.
For our more literate listeners, we now offer a perfectly transcribed podcast.
For our deaf listeners that have been listening for ages.
now you can read everything, even the dots, music.
Yeah. Now you can relive the great moments of Mike saying Miyamoto ruined yet another game.
Classic Miyamoto. Trash.
Wow. Yeah, that's surprising to hear. I mean, like, I've been avoiding most reviews, like, given the situation. I've been avoiding freaking pictures for God's sake. Yeah. But like, I would never. Here's my take on that. When you say that, like even though it's different and maybe not a positive way you're saying it, like kind of like about the 64 comparison, for me the worst fear anymore is just getting a game that feels like all they did was like they were too scared to get away from a formula and just made another one. They were like, well, we just better make 64 again because we don't want to piss anyone off or mess up when we're rolling strong here, so it's like I'm always open to that if they tweak it. Like, for instance, the thing that comes to mind is the 3DS Mario, what is it called?
3D Land.
3D Land. Yeah. How little the levels were. They were like really bite-sized, but boy, that game was fun. Like, I didn't get mad at it. I was just like, it's like just a different experience. I was like, this is much shorter. and it actually was 100%able if you like put your mind to it, or 200%able, or whatever you wanted to call it. That game was unique the way you had to finish it off. But so
yeah, I'm not saying it's like bad or anything. It's just something I noticed. But I really like the controls in the game, like all the different moves and stuff you have. Like I said before, all the different things you can capture, rather than have like, oh, you have the fire flower and you can do these things. It's like, oh, you can capture like a different enemy. And well, I mean, I've seen a lot of them through the dumb trailers and whatnot, but it's still fun to like find enemies and throw your hat on them and find out how they control and what different things they can do and things like that.
Okay.
I don't know. It's really fun.
Awesome.
And just even really like the ending and like the post game stuff is it's really good and really special. So I won't say anything more about that, but it was perfect.
Do you think there's going to be, do you think now that you're like closer to the end of the game, and I'm not aware that they have hinted at anything, but do you have any sense whether there's going to be like DLC, paid DLC for this game at any point or anything like that? Like, are they going to, like, does the game hint at that, or is that a feeling you would get from playing it, since that's the new thing? That's the big new thing for Nintendo, you know? So.
I don't know. I guess technically they could be like, oh, this is a new, you can download like a new kingdom sort of thing. Like I could see that they might, if they want to do that, I could see them making it work, because the map is a globe, and they can just put like another mark or another spot on the map, like, oh, now you can go to this level or something. And on one of the maps for the game, it showed an island that looked like you would be going back to another level, but that's not in the game. So maybe that maybe that's gonna be DLC. I don't know.
Okay, you're Matt.
It's weird that it's like the only island on there that isn't in the game. Right. So that could have hinted something.
Yeah, or it just unlocks later, like just for the fun of it, like just kind of like on a new level, like unlock something. Who knows? I mean, I would think if it's on there, if it was on the disc already, people would have like hacked the game and like found it, like, and been like, oh, there's a whole other level in there, or like, you know, placeholders for another level. But never know. Maybe it's too soon. The game did only come out like 2 weeks ago, so hard to say. Interesting.
I was talking with my friends, and one of my friends, and he was wondering like, oh, are they going to pull like a Galaxy 2 where, you know, they make another one that's like the same kind of thing, but like more levels or whatnot. And I don't know. I looked at some of the other 3D games, and they all came out within the first like year of the system, and only one of them ever actually had a sequel, which was Galaxy. So it's not so much like, oh, they didn't have time to do it before if they wanted to, but I could kind of see them doing it again, just because, I mean, like, making a game is easier for them than, you know, back with all the other games. I don't know. It seems like a good type of game that they could just make another one out of, and it would be really good. And I don't think anyone would complain.
Like, you know what Mike thinks about Galaxy 2. Galaxy 2 did really well, and like, they waited long enough to like make you feel like, all right, more, because Galaxy 1 is such a legend that it was like Galaxy 2 really is just like an expansion pack on Galaxy 1 in a lot of ways. You're just like, okay, well, more levels. Like,
but you know, I saw this guy tweets out Nintendo deals all the time, like Wario64 or something, or Wario, and he wrote to like the 10-year anniversary for Super Mario Galaxy, and everyone's like, no, you mean this game? And a lot of people put a picture of Galaxy 2. I just like cried. I was like, how do people think this is good? Like, it's just not. Like, but yeah, it does feel like an expansion. Like, I could see something like that coming out for Odyssey. I mean, I haven't played it yet, but it looks pretty unique. Like, anything goes in that game. Like, any kind of world setting. So they could do whatever they want. Like, heck, they could even make a Galaxy, whatever they call it in that game. Galaxy or some shit. Galaxy Odyssey or whatever.
Yeah, and I don't think it would have so much of the problem that Galaxy 2 would have. I don't know. I could see them like Galaxy actually living up to like, an Odyssey. You didn't get anything
new. That was the thing. It was like, and then like the post game was a GIF, and you're like, you know, like it just was just disappointing. Like that's the one thing that bothered me about Galaxy 2. Like Galaxy 1, like it actually had a story and it was like pretty cool, but it was just like the hub world you wanted to explore and unlock more. You know, you just constantly wanted to do a lot more in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, my problem was the linearity, but given Galaxy 2 is all about like this kind of sandbox thing, I don't think they would do that with the second if they made a second. So any problem I would have had would have been fixed anyway, or wouldn't be a problem anyway. But I really like to see another one, especially because I really like the hat mechanic. So it would kind of suck if they, got rid of that or just kind of dumped it. I guess not quick because the games don't come out that quickly, but I don't know. I think it's a good idea worth revisiting before dropping it, because we know like most of these games that introduce something new, they're never really going to hold on to, except for maybe like little moves like the spin in the air from Galaxy, I think is in the new Super Mario Brothers games. So I mean, like some of the moves that Mario has now maybe will continue, maybe the roll, probably the air dive, I guess, but obviously not the hat capture mechanic.
I wish I could comment more and be more intellectual about a game I haven't played at all that I totally am excited to play, but I can't. And there's so many games piling up for Switch. It's like it's ironic for me to say like that I'm less excited for Odyssey than I am for some other games, but it's probably true in my heart. But the thing is, I know it's going to be like one of the best games, period, that you'll play on the system, or it'll be in that like top 10, top 20 in the end of the system, like in 5-10 years, it'll be like, yeah, we'll be looking back and be like, Odyssey still stands up, because I can tell, because it's so freaking highly rated by every reviewer out there, that I'm like, yeah, this game is going to be better than almost the other stuff that I'm curious about, no matter what. So interesting. I can't wait to play it, but it's going to probably be a Christmas or later type thing for me. Maybe in the new year, play it a little bit. So
cool. So we'll move on to Mike. What have you been playing?
I haven't really been playing much because I have a lot of projects for November. So I've just been like playing Danganronpa V3 and Oversplotch and stuff. So nothing too big.
I literally said an Oversplotch the other day because of you, like talking to one of my friends at a party. I was like still playing that Oversplotch, and you knew what I meant.
Yeah, man. I mean, I got to get on that Oversplat, but I mean, yeah, the Oversplotch.
Yeah, you should get on the Oversplat, bro. Like you got to get on the Oversplat. I anytime people want to play some Salmon Run, I'll jump in on it because I really enjoy playing it the most when I have friends to play it. So it's
that only works once a week, Salmon Run or something like that.
It's like every other day. Yeah, and they actually have the schedule now in the dang app, like they should have at launch 6 months later. But it's there now.
Yeah, so you can look it up a lot faster. It's not every day, so it is a little annoying. You got to kind of like plan ahead if you want to play it. But really, the worst that happens is like if you're like itching to play and your friend's ready. Oh shit! Well, you're gonna play some competitive regular mode. Big deal. That's still fun, but it's like, it's the new mode, so I find it to be, it's more entertaining because the chaos of the horde mode is just like, kind of like an arcade experience that I really enjoy. So
that's cool.
And it's like,
and it's funny. I got a new monitor, so it came with Assassin's Creed Origins. So I'm actually a little excited to play that because I didn't play like Horizon Zero Dawn, and I was like, I'm in the mood for some sort of sandbox, even though I kind of hate them. But I was like, I don't know, Assassin's Creed Origins seemed kind of different, so I was kind of giving it a shot. That'll probably be my next shoot. The next two are Odyssey and whatever I just said, AC Origins. But the thing is with AC Origins is like I said, I actually never played any Assassin's Creed in my life ever. So
me neither.
It's gonna be something brand new for me, which seemed pretty cool. I mean, kind of exciting, but at the same time, it's like, could live without these things,
Matt, have you played any Assassin's Creeds?
I played 3, which is one of the not best ones, and by which I mean it kind of sucks.
2 is like the good one, or something like that.
People like Black Flag, which is like the pirate one.
Yeah, Black Flag. That came out for the Wii U, right, or something like that.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it did. Okay. And I was going to ask about it because I have literally seen both those games 3 and 4 at GameStop for Wii U for like $10 or less.
Yeah.
And I did buy them because I had a friend once tell me he didn't think I'd like them. He's like, I don't know. I just know the kind of games you like. I don't think you'll like these Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah, like I said, I'm never really a big fan of Sam. I think the only one I ever enjoyed are like the Spider-Man games. You know what I mean? Like I only like old GTA. I didn't even like new one when I played it. It was like I like the top-down GTA 2 one versus the new ones. I played like 4 for a bit, but I was just like, I could live without.
This is why Matt has called you the hipster gamer in the past. You're like, I only like GTA when it sucked back in the day.
Yeah, you know, like GTA, you know, when nobody liked it, I think it was a pretty good game. But like everybody started liking it, and it just got worse. Don't worry, man. I mean, I hate Okami also, and No More Heroes was disappointing to me. You know, like, I played that. I was like super excited for the first one. I hear number 2 is better, but I hear number 1 has like a cooler hub world. They got rid of that in number 2. But I only played number 1, and I was like, I don't know. I expected so much more, but I kind of realized like I ain't about those like Suda 51, Bayonetta ones. Like that's why I'm like a little worried about Nier Automata. Like that's why I want to play that one. But because it's got more RPG in it. But yeah, I'm always worried about like these action games that seem awesome to look at, but you know, the No More Heroes.
That's how I feel about Assassin's Creed. They all look like visually interesting and unique, and I'm like, oh man, this looks really cool to play. And then I played one, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not really a fan of it. And I mean, like, I know I got one of the not the greatest ones, but I put aside like the parts of it that weren't good and just thought of like the combat and stuff in general, and I'm like,
yeah, dude, they look awesome,
I mean,
and
like
it's just like they just don't deliver. Like you think they're way more than they are.
They look a lot cooler than I've found them to be.
They play, yeah. That's why Mario and Sonic never disappoint, bro. I think they look cool, and they play.
I think you need
like
to take Sonic out of that, but.
Whoa. Oh yeah,
the
Sonic
new games
Forces on my next list, man. You guys know that already, but I'm not getting it for the Switch. So
this is so interesting to me because like you're confirming my decision where I felt bad because like I didn't buy Assassin's Creed 4. I think it was literally like $10 for Wii U, and I didn't buy it, and I was like,
well, I've heard 4 is like a really good one that people liked, so yeah, it's probably a better one to start off with. I mean, for $10, it can't really go wrong anyway, but.
Yeah, I need to look into it sometime. I just got like it's like weird because it's like one of those things. It's like how much time do you have in your life? Should I even buy this game, even though it's a total bargain? No matter how shitty this game is, I'm gonna get $10 worth of fun out of it. I'm sure, you know what I mean. But it's like, do I have the time to even spend on it? Like, you know, it's like it's a decision you have to make. That I'm saying there, I'm like, honestly, it's probably worth $10, but I still like I think at home I'm like, oh my god, I got all these games at I'm don't buy it. Like, there's no reason to buy this. It's just going to go on a pile of things that I may not have time for because I'm sure it's like a really big game, you know, not to mention, you know, long, you know, like I'm sure it takes a lot of hours to finish it. So it's just kind of like, interesting. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, those games are like, I don't know, these action games want to be RPGs, but they're not. It's like, bitch, make up your mind, you know?
Well spoken. Well spoken.
I mean, that's the way I look at them. Like, they're like, oh, let's add all these elements. And I'm like, okay, but then it's just like, I thought I'm supposed to be like fighting nonstop and not leveling things up, or I don't even know anymore. But hey, man, it's always cool to try something new. I mean, just sometimes things, they just don't deliver. Kind of like Xenoblade Chronicles X. And I just realized Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is coming out for the winter, so like...
Yeah. How about it? Like, did anybody else happen to play Zelda this week?
No, like I said, I haven't got to Zelda. Actually, I'm waiting for the DLC to drop, and then
I'm already.
Playing, I'm ready for to like kind of continue my adventure. Find out. I just know I'm somewhere on Death Mountain or Girl.
I only asked the Zelda question, Matt. Do you know why I asked? Because I didn't know.
Yeah, because Xenoblade, there's like a side mission.
Yeah, like
it's a side mission. Like, tell.
Yeah, like I'm playing. Well, I don't want to spoil it for the listeners or anything like that, but I'm playing along, and like. You know how you have your menu of side quests, a lot like Xenoblade 1. I didn't play 2 or whatever, or X or whatever, but...
Yeah, I played it for like 3 hours. I was just like, if you don't have friends with that game, it's just not fun.
It's just not my kind of game.
It tries to be an MMORPG, but it's just not, and then, yeah.
And, well, the point, in Zelda is like how you have your whole sub menu of all your like little side quests that you've encountered, that it's like making a laundry list for you to like get done with later, like, oh, here's some stuff that you got to go do when you're not busy or whatever. And like all of a sudden a Xenoblade side quest pops up and I'm like, what? Like I thought it was imagining things because it's like it was written in really cool font, like when it came on the screen, like when the way it like flashes the name of the side quest across the screen once you've like added it to your list or whatever. And like I was like, did that just say Xenoblade? And I was like it's just sort of like it's a simple, straightforward go find things quest, and I don't know what the outcome is if you complete it. I'm sure it has like some tie-in to Xenoblade given the name. But it was like go and look at certain things in the world, like find the spot and look at it. And they described what this was go and find and like see it or something. And I was like,
okay.
I was like, I was really proud of Nintendo because I was like, that's not even a game I'm gonna play. That's a super cool tie-in to like bump, like to like push into my game. That I was like all of a sudden like, oh, if I feel like it, it's like saying go to this landmark, go to this landmark, go to this landmark. And look at this thing, and then something presumably will happen. I'm probably something cool, and I'm like maybe I'll do that sometime if I have the time. I'm trying to push ahead in the game and get some stuff.
Yeah. Like I said, this Zelda game is very strange. It's just I don't know. Like I said, it doesn't have the appeal of a Zelda to me.
It's got. I'm loving it, but hey.
But yeah. I think it's really cool concept. It just doesn't feel like TLOZ to me. That's what I'm.
Okay, fair.
So, like I said, good game, not a good
Matt, had you known that side quest was coming? Was that a thing, or like did that?
No, they just kind of like dropped it one day.
Yeah,
they're just like, hey, you get oh, that's what it was. There was a Xenoblade 2 Direct, and then that's when they showed it off.
Oh, okay.
Again, in Zelda, you can play this side quest. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I haven't played it. I'll probably just hold off until the DLC comes.
Okay. Right on. Cool. Yeah, I was curious because I was totally. It was one of those cases where you're not totally on top of the news, and it was kind of a reward because I was like, "What the heck?" Like that.
Yeah, I mean, are you guys excited? Like, you guys excited for Xenoblade 2? You guys looking for any third parties or like, what are you guys looking for this holiday? Like, are you getting Doom? Because I know, like, I feel like you would be the biggest third party supporter, Uno, because you don't have any other system. So
I'm definitely getting Doom at some point.
Yeah, I figured. Like, I mean, I know you definitely like classic Doom, and it's funny because like everyone's like, I was reading like a few reviews on it. They're like, yeah, it doesn't look as nice as it does in other systems, but it's like you have Doom on the go, and I never thought I'd say that. Like
it looks pretty awesome from the screenshots I've seen, but I don't want to derail Matt's talk too much. But yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about that stuff because anyway, yeah. What else, Matt? Where are we at? I'm getting lost here. What are we?
Oh, doing? You're up to what games you play.
Oh, Matt, anything else like that you wanted to add? Me and Mike are chatting so much.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, nothing too much new from me. I mean, really, we can just continue the conversation. If I had like less games to play, I would have got Doom this weekend because I saw a bunch of people on my friends list playing it, and I was like getting an itch. I was like, man, that game looks like pretty badass, pretty dark. Like you said, on the go, kind of cool game. But
I mean, did they only come out last year or something like that?
Yeah. So it's like faster than a lot of Nintendo's like latter day ports or whatever. Like it's only a year old, but yeah, like I was thinking about that, and then like Skyrim's coming this week.
Oh yeah, I forgot Skyrim's coming.
Like, and so there's a lot of big games on the horizon, but I didn't play too much new. I kind of made myself play some more Zelda. Not made because I really do like Zelda. I just have to. I have to stop playing Binding of Isaac for like 5 minutes, which is tough because I played like 6 hours this weekend and got even further than I've forgotten before, and it's the freaking most amazing game, and I'm addicted like crackhead to it. But I got to give it a cool it because I can feel it like. I'm getting to the point where the game is so insanely hard. I'm getting pissed at it, like where the achievements I'm going for are like the for real pro level crap that you're just like, this is nuts. Like this is literally crazy land achievement levels like that I'm trying to get at now. But yeah, it's kind of a game you can spoil very easily. So I don't want to say too much. But let's put it this way: I'm at almost 70 hours played.
Oh my gosh!
This weekend I encountered like 5 new bosses I'd never even seen or heard of before. Like that the game just keeps dropping so much content on you. It's insane. That's what keeps me coming back again and again. I'm like, I get new. I'm almost maxing out on items, but I bet I've had 100 different unique items in the game, and like I still get new ones occasionally. Like it's getting less, but like it's still like some stuff will unlock occasionally, and I have like this new item I never heard of or never thought of because I don't look at wikis or anything. But anyway, played a lot of that. But I wanted to hype up some musicians. If there's anybody out there who likes some chiptune, because I went to a chiptune little mini festival this weekend, and
like Mega Man music and stuff.
Yeah, like live, like people that do like LSDJ, like
that's cool. That's cool.
Actually,
like, do you know Hyper Potion? They're not really chiptune, but they do like EDM, but they use a lot of chiptune in it.
I don't think I know those guys. I'm not like super knowledgeable about the genre. I go to see it live sometimes, like the live Game Boy type programmer shows and stuff. But like, there's a great band there called Mage Hand that they were like a live band. They're like the Dungeons and Dragons, like Mage Hand. They're from Philly here. They're like real nerdy prog rock. They're not quite chiptune. They were great. Give them a shout out. Mage Hand was awesome because they were like metal, like chiptuney prog. But then the main act I saw at late at night on Saturday was called Roboctopus, like Roboctopus, and they were all like they had the crowd like completely jumping and moshing and like getting down. It was pretty sick.
Pretty dope.
I check them out on like Bandcamp because I was listening to them earlier, and they sound pretty awesome on there. And their album is like $2 or something. So if you want some chiptune, you could just get a list of some bands to check out because the festival was called 8 Static, like static in your microphone, like 8, number 8 Static. You can just Google that and look at the like list of bands that played because I didn't see. There were 3 days, and I only went on Saturday night. But there were a lot of bands there that I want to check out because I'm friendly with some of the people that curated the bands, and they have good taste. So I was like, it was cool. It was also super trippy because they had it was in a big like kind of warehouse type space, and they did like whole walls of like projector graphics, and it was really intense. Like it was like I don't know, I'd say like 3 stories tall and like 2 or 3 tractor trailer trucks long, like of walls, like covered in like crazy ass like graphics. It was really intense. It was cool. It's like funny because it's not a huge festival. It was probably 100 people, 150 people there for the main acts. Like, so it was pretty small.
Wait. Festival or concert? I need to ascertain the
fest. But I mean, it's a fest because they have a lot of bands. But yeah, it was more like a concert because of the number of people. So
I mean, I've never really been to any live show. I mean, I've been to like one county fair, and that was in California. They don't fit in New York. Yeah. So I didn't really know how it worked.
Yeah, no, it's a fair question. I go to a ton of live music. I think this year I've seen like 40 or 50, no, even more. I've seen like 70 live shows this year already. Like wow. I'm going to something on Thursday. Anyway, but like
pretty sick. That's cool. Like I said, I've always wanted. I always wanted to. I mean, my older brother's a DJ, so I go to his gigs. But like those are concerts. They're just like in clubs and stuff.
Yep. Yeah, you got to find what you like and get after it. It's a good experience. It's how I've made a lot of really good old friends in my life. It's crazy because like that little mini fest that I was at, I ran into like 4 people, and I don't like. I'm not like best friends with them, but they're like it's probably like the way it is for you with Smash Bros or whatever. Like,
you're their concert friends. And stuff,
you know each other. Yeah, you know each other.
Like you see them, you're like, yo, what up, dude? Like you guys have a good time no matter what.
Yeah, totally. And it's like, and that's fun to me. I'm like, hey, what up, guys? And everyone's drinking beers and dancing, and it's cool.
Awesome.
So yeah, check out Roboctopus. That would be my recommend for the week. I didn't play anything. I got real drunk at that fest, came home and played Wave Race Blue Storm on GameCube late at night. It was horrible and fell asleep with the GameCube controller in my hand.
Is that a good Wave Race game? Because I never played it. I only played the original. And
they're great.
Really good.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, the one on GameCube is just like it's almost like they took they made it like higher tech graphics, nice. For like. But I almost like the N64 one better because it's, I don't know, maybe it's just nostalgia. Like, I mean, they're both equally good. It's sort of like what they did with F-Zero, where it's like this is the same-ish game, only with way better graphics and new physics, like a little bit tweaked physics or whatever. But yeah. I think they're fun games. They'd be more fun to play with somebody else, like at the same time. But you have that classic problem of split screen. Like you gotta like share the TV, which is something that we're learning to not do these days. You play online or you play with your Switch or whatever. And so I always find it's kind of weird when I do it, even though I grew up playing split screen gaming. It's like, oh, this really handicaps you. You have to share the TV with somebody else or whatever. So, but yeah, I wasn't doing so good Saturday night because it was like 4 a.m. and I was like, I woke up.
You were getting bread.
Yep. He was just parked against the wall, and it's like, you lose, like on the screen. I'm like, yeah, it's time for bed. But then, yeah, that's it from me. So cool. Chip this week.
So, Mike, do you know about Hyper Potion because of Sonic Mania?
Hyper Potion.
Is that why?
What's
Dude, one question. Did you get Ultra Street Fighter 2?
He'll counter the question with a question.
Yeah, how about that? I was wondering because I'm like, I know you're that young old school player, and I was wondering.
Are you talking to me? Nah.
Yeah, I'm talking to you, Clay.
I never got it. I don't play much Street Fighter anymore. I'm not good at it. Like I was.
Okay. I mean, I'm garbage at Street Fighter 2, but I have Street Fighter 2 for my Super Nintendo. And I'm just like, I kind of wanted it because it looked cool and clean, but it's totally not me either. I
would have to put way too much time into those games to get good at them again. And Smash. Once I discovered Smash, I saw the light. I was like, why play these other fighting games? What's the point?
When you just play Smash, 100%.
Why do I want a damage meter? I said to myself. Yeah. Anyhow, yeah. No. What's this thing you're asking Mike about, Matt? What are you talking about?
Yeah, Mike. You were saying you brought up Hyper Potion before. I said, do you know about Hyper Potion because of Sonic Mania?
Oh no, I knew them before that from Monster
okay.
Cat. That's DJ label, and so they're part of it.
Yeah,
so that's all I really know about it.
Yeah, Game Chops, Monster Cat. Hyper
Can you explain what you're talking about?
They're just like music labels and producers.
Oh yeah. When Sonic Mania was being promoted, when it first announced, they had a whole thing going with Hyper Potions, and they did the opening for Sonic Mania. Which was
I don't remember if that's how I found out about them, but I remember I searched that up and I was like, oh, cool.
I forgot, dude. I honestly forgot. We brought that up. I was like, oh yeah, they did do that.
Yeah.
I was like, doing that opening is amazing.
It's a great song. It's one of my favorite songs to pretend to drum to. And by pretend, I mean fail at it or whatever, but
you're still doing it? That was a while ago. You said you got your drums hooked up to you got your drums. What were you doing? You had said it a while.
I hooked up my Rock Band drums to my computer, and I just put on a song through some program some guy made, and then I just drummed to it.
Nice.
Yeah.
You still getting after that? You when your parents are out of the house, or you're just chilling at home. You're just getting after some drums, or what's going on with that? How are you doing it?
I haven't been playing it much recently, especially because of Mario. But I would just do it. I'll do it whenever. I think the first time I did it was at night. So there goes my care to whatever the heck they're doing. And I thought they went on the house for some reason. I'm like, oh, maybe I can just take off the headphones and play because I'm not disturbing anyone. So who cares? And I tried to. I can't even hear the music over the sounds of me hitting the drums. Putting the headphones back on. It's great. Impossible.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's.
I can't imagine what it sounds like to other people to hear some douchebag in the other room just smacking the table constantly.
That's kind of.
I'm surprised no one has yelled at me.
That's kind of par for the course with learning to drum, I suppose. You're going to annoy people no matter what. It's part of it. It's part of the deal. Yeah. Nice. That's cool. Yeah, I wish you luck with that. But anyway, cool. So what's on the news deck, or what's on the announcements deck, or what do we got?
Let's move on to some quick announcements. I'm gonna kind of breeze through these because I have an overall whatever thing to say. So Take-Two is happy with NBA 2K sales on Switch. Marvelous is bringing ports and new games to Switch. And Bandai Namco is going to reveal 3 exclusive games early to mid 2018 for Switch. Looking to increase the games based on sales they received. They're going to be worldwide releases apparently. And Square Enix is also apparently aggressively making games for Switch. Apparently, they're not going to roll out any IP. They're going to look at their old catalog, their current, and apparently future games. So they're basically full. I can't even come up with a sticking phrase for it. Whatever. They're on board. Just trying to come up with something better.
Yeah.
But and they also said multi-platform games are possible on Switch. They said multi-platform games aren't impossible. They apparently have to make, concessions, of course, but
that Bandai or Square Enix?
Square Enix.
Okay.
But the main point I wanted to make is Switch is getting support, which is good.
Out it, isn't
Big
it nuts?
Support. So look for some games in 2018. Apparently, or at least announced. I don't know about
dude. It's
movies,
nuts.
but...
Every like game company that tweets something, they're like, "Is it also up for Switch?" You'll
Yeah.
always see like a lot of replies for that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It was just crazy because when I was collecting the news articles for that week on like Go Nintendo and stuff, like I just saw a whole list of companies saying like, "Oh man, like their sales are doing great for Switch and they're going to support it more in the future and blah blah blah." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, it's just coming out of nowhere."
Yeah,
I think it was partly due to like Nintendo had some meeting or something. So maybe that's why they like started talking about it. I don't know why. It was just weird to see it all at once. I was like, "Oh man, that's insane." In a good way.
That's I forget if Mike was here the other week when I was playing We Are the Champions, because that's how it feels now. It's kind of like crazy. It's just like, man, it hasn't been like this since the Wii, where it was like the world was lit on fire by Nintendo. Like the thing I worry about is like that all these big companies and even medium and small companies are getting on the freight train now. They're all like, "Oh, dude, we better get something in the pipeline for Switch. It's hot." And then there's going to be like a weird reverse, like problem that like too much stuff comes out in like a year and a half, like all at once, because it already feels like, holy crap.
Dude, it feels like a lot, like an abundance of games.
Yeah, that's a well put, an abundance of games. Mental note, possible title for the show. Like, and it's just like, what are you gonna do? Like, I mean, Skyrim and Doom alone are coming this week, and Rocket League. I'm like, that alone would be like 2 months for me because I don't play games like at light.
Even Rocket League, that's just a good idea, man. That's like an online multiplayer only game, right?
Yup, and it's cross-platform, and it goes live like tomorrow or something like that. So hopefully, I'm gonna wait on that for sure because I want to make sure it like works. Like just to be blunt, like let's hope it works since they're doing this whole multi-platform stuff, and that's like, let's ask ourselves something. Like it probably isn't, but Nintendo nerds sitting here around this table, this virtual is this the first multi-platform game ever for Nintendo?
What do you mean? Like cross-platform?
Like cross-platform, like multiplayer game?
Yeah. Yeah.
No. They had Carl on Duty for a Wii.
Oh, Call of Duty.
On Duty.
Carl was on duty for
Carl's Duty. Carl's Duty. Wow.
You could play with people on other consoles on the Wii.
Yeah. I'm googling it right now. I'm Call of Duty Wii cross platform.
Yeah. So
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just like I can't believe it.
That'd be surprising.
Yeah, the only thing I know is I had a little cousin at the time, and he had Carl for a Wii.
I've never.
And then he grew up to the Xbox kind of guy. It was funny. Now he's in college, and he texts me. He's like, "Bro, it's got my Switch." I was like, "What's up, bro?" All right, he's rad cool. Like he loves SpongeBob and shit, but he's also like a frat guy. And he's like, "Bro, I just got my Switch, son."
Frat boy that loves SpongeBob.
Yeah. I'm like looking it up. I can't find. There's too many Call of Duty, so it's like polluting my web search here. I'm like looking. Okay, so there have been a few. The answer for our listeners is without even Google it yourselves. It says they've allowed it for a few games in history. The first being, this is according to Wikipedia, Pure Chess, a game called Pure Chess, and a game called Knit Underground, KNYTT.
How do you not know that game, bro?
I'm not familiar with it. Yeah.
I'm a true Nintendo fan. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah,
we all had it. I can't believe you don't have that, Clay.
I probably have it in this stack of games here. Honestly, I haven't even looked through it. It's so dusty, like so many games to play.
Clay's like, actually, I have 5 copies of it.
I got them on sale. I was like Eli, returning it, buying it again. I got 3 copies. I'm gonna return the 4th.
You Eli'd them all. You went to GameStop. I'll buy it again.
I made them pay me
$52.
Yeah. No. According to Wikipedia, like it's a really very brief entry. It's like Nintendo platforms have not typically supported this idea, and then they even go on. It's literally 2 short paragraphs, and it mentions Minecraft and Rocket League, like as in the Switch versions. That they're like saying like,
oh yeah, Minecraft.
Yeah. So it isn't the first, but it's close to it. It sounds like it's really close to it. Like it's such a new idea. that the whole entry on Wikipedia lists 4 games. Now, I'm not saying that's definitive; it's Wikipedia, but
it's probably a good guess.
Hey man,
I don't think there's that many
people that actually factually check stuff. You could have it wrong, screenshot it, and then if you go there 2 hours later, it'll be fixed.
Yeah, I know it isn't. It is pretty amazing. I mean, I trust it a lot of the times. I'm just saying, it's not a very deep dive.
Oh yeah. Of course. I hate how it's Clay, I don't know if you were in college at the time, but you go to college now and it's Wikipedia is not a source. It's well, no shit, but they do 70 sources which they quote at the bottom. So
I mean, as long as you just use a Wikipedia article and then just take the sources that they use.
Yeah, just take the source of it, and you're okay, well, that's all I needed, really. And it's hilarious.
I would not.
What's the term for when you write an essay and you have a page of sources? It's not a glossary, but there's some other word for it. It's that's what Wikipedia basically is.
Yeah,
or not bibliography or something.
It's your bibliography. Yeah,
okay.
Totally. I should know that a little better than I did. I'm embarrassed. Yeah, right on. Well, anyway, cool. So we're talking about Nintendo. We're talking about games. And
not F that. We're talking about scholarly articles. All right? It's an educational podcast.
Scholarly articles. I love it. Nice. What else, Matt? What else is in the news?
So while looking up those games you were bringing up, Knit Underground and Pure Chess, here's something weird. Knit Underground has got a 9 out of 10 on Steam, and Pure Chess has a 6 out of 10. I don't know how you can screw up chess.
That's Knit Underground. That's
it's one game.
I'm looking up
Tetris. How do you screw it up?
I recognize this game actually. I think I've seen videos of this game, Knit Underground.
Hey, really?
I know why I've seen it. I have 4 copies right here. What am I talking about?
Oh yeah, of course, dude. I mean, I hear you play it every other day.
It's like Binding of Isaac to me. It is my main game. Only Knit Underground all day long. No, I recognize it. I do. I haven't played it, but I've seen it around. Anyway, cool. Yeah, cool. But
apparently, there's game-breaking bugs in this chess game.
Yeah.
Game-breaking bug. That's what I like to hear.
There's so many not lamented.
Code. How dare you? All right.
Yeah.
It's just hilarious how this very simple I don't know, probably hundreds of years old game couldn't be recreated well, and they have this weird trailer where they're panning over shots of hyper realistic chess pieces and whatnot.
Yep.
And it's weird.
Yeah, that's like Nintendo outsourcing their online, because that's just all that is. If it was on Wii U, which is where I think the Wikipedia article said it was for the crossplay, then that's part of it. Anyway, Knit Underground, our favorite game of the week.
Yeah. All right, so on to some news.
Wait, are any of you guys getting Sonic Forces though?
Hell no. Not after those reviews.
You guys sound like you guys sound like not Sonic fans right now. Sonic's a Nintendo IP.
Sanic, no thanks. Brannick.
Not for or against, to be honest. Most of the games, I don't know. There's some games that are decent, but for the most part, it's like Assassin's Creed to me. It looks like it might be good, and then I play it, and it's not.
Yeah. We've talked Sonic before, but my bullet point on that is I want to hate on your series, because mad respect to you for loving the series, and there's a huge audience for Sonic out there. But they're all Matt, you nailed it. To me, I'm always Sonic ever since I was a kid. Ever since Sonic 1, I always feel it looks more fun than it is when I'm playing it. I'm man.
Don't worry, he's just too cool for you.
I gotta eat a chili dog or something.
Yeah, come on, dude.
Chili dogs are great.
You got a hilarious cartoon. Right?
I mean, the reviews that I read didn't make me want to play it either, and I was tentatively interested because I genuinely want to give it a chance. But then the reviews sounded pretty rough. They were saying things like what me and Matt are saying. The reviews were I want to like this game, and I don't love it. It's okay. It's not amazing. It looks good. It looks good.
I mean, I just love Sonic. I'm totally biased. I don't care. I play the game, and I'm man, this game is not that good.
You're the guy who buys Final Fantasy 13 Returns just for the achievements. You'll buy it.
Yeah, you know, like Sonic Unleashed is a great game, actually. I mean, in my opinion.
I have no opinion on it. I never played it. I've heard
it
people.
It came out for the Wii, though, man. Why are you not playing your Wii games?
Sonic, man. It's, I'm not joking when I say like I kind of avoid him because I'm just like I don't want to hate on him, so I just kind of don't play them because I'm like if I go home and play my Genesis that I have at my parents' house and I don't like Sonic 1, 2, and 3, there's no hope for me. Like, and that's what happens. Like, I'll play it for like 20 minutes and I'm like, this is okay, but like I'm like
No, you're obviously blinded. You have a fake Sega Genesis with fake Sonic. You have like Sonic the Hedgehog or something.
Yeah, right? it's like some.
Like, what is this bootleg ripoff?
It is. Like it probably is. It probably.
Yeah. Don't worry. Common misconception.
It's fair. It's fair. I haven't checked the serial and the trademarks on those cartridges. They probably.
I still love you, man. You know.
Sonic and the Galaxy.
You're no Miyamoto. You're still a good person.
Jeez. I'm no Miyamoto. It's awesome. Thank you. Nicest compliment I know you can give.
Oh, after Lost World, I don't think I'll buy another Sonic game without waiting for reviews.
Oh God, Lost World. That game made me mad.
I don't know how bad the Wii one, but I can almost guarantee. I can almost guarantee the 3DS one was worse, and it's bad. It's unfortunate because it had like good music, but I beat it and returned it like within a couple of days. I'm like, I hate this.
I didn't beat that. No, got it at midnight. Beat it in the 15 hours. Didn't even have it long enough. Like, I got rid of it the next day before like patches came out or like anything about the game, and I just I'm like, oh cool, a Zelda DLC. Meh, garbage game.
That's funny.
Game is Clay. That's a Wii U game that no human should ever play.
I remember it vaguely. I don't know anything about it.
It's unfortunate because it looked really good too. Like I would say I was more excited for Lost World than like people are saying Sonic Forces looked good before reviews came out, but I think Lost World there was much more excitement, especially from me, than there was for Forces. And it's like, man, to be pooped on like that. Not taking that chance. I'm not the kind of person who likes being pooped on, so
I was just gonna say I was trying to make a joke about that. I was like you say it like you know it, like the
I don't like being pooped on, and I'm a guy who knows what it's like to be pooped on.
What a good pooping on feels like.
And that was not a good pooping.
That's pretty funny. All right.
Story
about that, but I'm not going to.
Okay, jeez. You're trying to avoid that.
Not about me. Moving on.
Enough about being pooping on.
Matt, when's Overwatch and Destiny 2 coming to the Switch?
Yeah, make the call. Make the call.
All right, and then what about Halo 6? That comes to the Switch?
Oh yeah,
man, this guy.
It's a Switch exclusive, man. Haven't you heard?
Oh yeah. I forgot about that, man.
This guy.
Can't wait for Master Chief, Mario, and Sonic in the same game.
They've been waiting ever since they made that DS game.
Yeah,
you guys are funny. You're Mike wants us to break exclusives on our podcast with like the dates.
Yeah, I want phony info. We'll be like the BuzzFeed. We'll make up baloney, like 11 different ways to breathe, and people were like, "Oh my god, I totally do that." And I'm like, yeah, I inhale and exhale too. Okay.
This guy's killing me. All right, Mac, let's get us through the news. Yeah. We're into an hour here. We're gonna get to the news here.
Go on. All right. There's only the 3 pieces, so it should be small. Right. But anyway, so Grezzo has advertised a position for a Majora's Mask remake. It looks like.
Again?
Oh wait, no. Why did I write that? Oh, sorry. Let me restart that. Grezzo advertises a position similar to a Majora's Mask remake. So they use the phrase, help us make a Legend 2. And most of the games they've made are Zelda related, either ports or new. So it's possible this is another Zelda remake, or maybe the Legend part refers to, another famous series that they're working on. I think it's probably Zelda related, but just because based off their track record. But
remind us who Grezzo is. I think I remember.
Grezzo made both the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask remakes on
for the 3DS. Right?
They made the Triforce Heroes game on the 3DS.
Right.
They
did that.
A couple of original
I thought that was
stuff.
like an exclusive or something.
Nope. And I think they did a couple other stuff. But for the most part, it's been like Zelda.
Right on.
So,
Okay.
Do you guys think they're making another Zelda remake, and or just working on like another series?
Hmm.
And if
Now,
yeah.
One question, Matt.
Yeah.
Now, did you think that it could be just a VC kind of like, you know what I mean? Does Zelda Majora's Mask be rated, or is it going to be like re-rated, or is it like you think it's going to be remade? Like, I don't understand.
No, so they like posted a job listing on their site. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It could be a VC. Like, didn't they usually clean up the games like when they try to like port them over? And maybe it's the 3DS one they're trying to clean over for the Switch. Doubtful, but could be that. I don't see them remaking a remake of a game that was remade 3 years ago.
Sorry. So I wouldn't be not like remaking the ones they've already made, but do you think they're remaking like just a different Zelda game?
Interesting. What else? I should be looking this up while we're talking, but
so here are the ones to go over.
What else have they done? Anything besides Zelda, or only Zelda? It would be my first question.
Let me go back.
Wait, is VC coming out in January? Then I gotta give Nintendo $20 for the year.
They
haven't said anything.
All right, what's the chances of a direct after Black Friday?
I don't know. I'm gonna guess they won't make a direct until January.
Oh yeah, they usually do it like the 17th, like some odd day. You know what I mean?
So Grezzo has made Line Attack Heroes, Ocarina of Time 3D, Four Swords, Anniversary Edition for the DSi, Street Pass Garden, The Legend of Legacy, whatever the heck that is, Majora's Mask 3D, Triforce Heroes, and they made Ever Oasis just recently.
Okay. And they did make that other game that you said has Legend in the title. Not that that means anything, but just pointing it out.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember their name because of the Zelda stuff, obviously, like everyone else, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, the concept of Occam's Razor is that the simplest answer is usually the right one. It doesn't mean that's true, but, it's like basically just like, let's not overthink it kind of concept. Like, so I not knowing anything else, I'd be, if like people are seeing them posting this job and they do all this work for Nintendo, what would we think it is? Like, let's assume it's Zelda just for the fun of it. Like, what would be the game that would make sense now to be remade for Switch?
So let me go over a list of games that have been remade, or Zelda games that have been remade. There's Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker. Obviously, Breath of the Wild isn't going to be remade. Skyward Sword.
Does Link Awakening DX count as a remake?
Yeah, kinda.
I don't know.
I mean, all it did was add color.
Yeah, I guess it's not a remake by modern standards. Yeah.
No, I think it was just like they ported it and added colors or whatever. But the only like 3D Zelda game that hasn't been remade is Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's like all of the 2D ones haven't really been remade.
It's possible. Nintendo's insane enough that you can't actually rule out Skyward Sword for a remake. They're insane. Like, so it's actually, I was going to say it's not Skyward Sword, and then it's like, you never know. Yeah, like,
they're the Joy-Cons.
They are nutty, right? And like we've talked before about it, that like Wii U games are going to be locked on Wii U until they figure out ways to port them off, like onto new consoles. And given that system is sunsetting and like.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna put my money on Minish Cap because that game's amazing.
Nice.
People love Minish Cap. They really do. They love it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like, the thing with Minish Cap, I mean, they haven't. That's like one of the few games they haven't touched. They remade, Link to the Past, technically Link's Awakening, Ocarina of Time. They re-released more than enough. Blah blah blah. So,
right.
I mean, that's like one of the few games not touched, besides like Four Swords Adventure, like the GameCube one.
Right.
That was a good game. It's very short, but not everybody had the stupid.
No, I agree. I think that's a good guess. I mean, like, I'm gonna look up a list of Zelda games right now because, like, I think we're at the point where it's like, yeah, well, like, what game? Now, Grezzo didn't do any of those like 3DS like Street Pass games, right? That's another company that I'm thinking of.
They did one of them.
Did they?
But I mean, yeah, I think Nintendo did most of them.
They did the fishing one? No, it sounds like Nintendo.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I had most of those games. I think they were all fun.
I mean,
like they were like, "Hey, buy all of them for like $5." I was like, "Yeah, I could buy all of them for $5."
I mean,
like,
the elephant in the room here is that, like, if they wanted to like blow people's heads off in a year, they could remake what is Link? I'm just blanking. My brain is blanking.
CDI Zelda. Yeah.
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 You're killing
I'll be
me.
like, "Gosh, I want."
You're killing me here. Oh my god, you're too funny. I was just blanking. A Link to the Past.
Yeah.
Like Zelda, I always called Zelda 3 in my head because that's what I called it when I was a kid, because it was the third Zelda when we were kids. Well, I don't know. It depends. Like, I forget if the Game Boy one was in there before that, but yeah, like, that would be the game that would blow people's heads off if Nintendo was trying to go big and just drop the mic kind of thing. Be like, because I mean, they have the Link.
Oh, a 3D version of Link to the Past.
Well, just remaking it, like remaking Link to the Past, like in like modern graphics on Switch, like that they're like maybe making it to have the upgraded graphics the way what's like Link Between Worlds, like making it have like more modernized, cleaner graphics, like, and like bringing it out of like Super Nintendo graphics up into like modern. That would be something you could hand off to another company and have them do it and be like, the game is done. The game is a masterpiece. Just make it look beautiful and make it run.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just an idea. I don't think they would do it. It's almost too sacred in a way. Like, I would pay money if they did the CDI games. Like,
Oh my gosh.
I would pay a lot of money for that. I mean, I would line up if they took those games and like turned that dog shit into like something good. Like, I would pay money for that dog shit sandwich. Like,
What's with the poop this week?
I know, it's the poop episode, the dog shit episode. Yeah, I would pay good money because there's this part of me that's like my retro collector side. Like, I've been tempted at times to like try and get a CDI and get those games just to be annoyed and play them and be like, these are so awful. And I'd be like, yeah, I know. I've watched videos of them. Why did you spend all that money?
Why didn't I warn myself?
Yeah. But it's like, because they're so funny. Like, they're the funniest thing ever to me. When you watch those videos, it's like, my God, this is like why did they make this? Like, it's beyond. But I don't know. Like, but I mean, what about Tingle? Like, one of those Tingle games.
Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land, yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot that existed.
Come on, we can get into the weeds here. They could be working on that. It's possible.
I mean, look, what would actually blow people's mind is remaking Zelda 2, because that game stinks. Like, I played it on the Game Boy Advance. I
love it, but I know it's not popular with everyone. Like, it was a game of its time. Like, when you were a kid, it was awesome. But like, I hear you, why you would not like it. Like, I totally get it. Like, it's not a very easy game, and it's like it's difficult on every level, and you die and get sent right back to the beginning, which is really frustrating. Like, if you haven't played it, like, because I can play it. And I bet you I'm not bragging, I bet I could beat it in under 10 lives. Like, I played it so much as a kid, that I'd just be like, probably 5 of those lives would be like on the final dungeon, like just trying to get through the final dungeon, like, or whatever. Cause that's a real brutal dungeon that I don't have memorized in my head. And it's like, it's one of the hardest Zeldas, if not the hardest. I don't know. Like, yeah, but Zelda 2, I don't think they'd waste the resources on remaking that, because there is a lot of hate for that game out there, and like that could really backfire. That a lot of people would be like, what the hell, Nintendo," kind of thing.
So if it's not Skyward Sword, because I think I wouldn't be surprised if it was, because it's literally the only 3D. I know, but it's the only Zelda 3D Zelda game that hasn't been remade. So I mean, I could see them being like, well, why not? It's the like
it's
last
something
thing
we don't want.
But
I can see that.
They could maybe do it because there's motion in the Joy-Cons. I don't know how good it is, whatnot, but it might be possible or whatever. But anyway, besides that, I kind of think maybe the original could be up for bat, because You know, Breath of the Wild was based on the original Zelda game, and they showed I don't remember if it was a GDC or some other developers conference, but they showed like they used it as a basis to kind of make Breath of the Wild and whatnot. So maybe like a sequel somehow to the original that's like more of a sequel than any of the other ones, or just straight up remaking it. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that.
What are you trying to do? Like, give me wet dreams tonight? Like I mean,
you're trying. You're not already now.
Yeah, I just
I'm that bad.
That's so sacred to me that like my brain can't conceive of it. Like that they would ever touch it. Like it's like.
But I mean, like they've already touched Ocarina of Time, and that's basically like their Final Fantasy VII of Zelda.
That's a good analogy. Good analogy.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I mean, it's like to me, it's like
they've already touched it.
I know, but for me, it's like remaking a Beatles album or something. Like I mean, I don't know if the Beatles are sacred to your generation as to every other generation that's ever lived, but like it's like there's no point in remaking it. You're like, what are you doing? Like it's already literally perfect. Like what could you like Ocarina? Like suffered from the fact that it was on Nintendo's graphically least enduring system, and I say that without hate for N64. I literally have one out for modding right now. Like, but that the system had the worst graphics, objectively speaking, by modern standards. If you go back and play an N64, so it's like those games were ripe to be remade because they don't look good anymore when you play them. Like it's not like the style. Sure. It's not a style thing.
But I mean, like even with Link to the Past, like they didn't have to make a sequel because the original was already pretty much perfect and looked good. But they still did it anyway. And the sequel is basically like the original with a twist. Kind of just the same map and whatnot. So I
guess my only point was like that it's like the first Zelda, like it's not the same art. Well, I was just deflecting the argument that like, well, they did it with 64, like and I'm like, well, that's a different thing to me. There, I was like, because Ocarina, for a lot of people, it is the #1 Zelda, and it's like, I'm like, yeah, but it needed a remake because it's hard to play the original. Like when you play it, there's so many black pixels, it just doesn't look good, and you're just like, ugh, like these polygons. Like Link looks like he's made out of triangles, for God's sake. You know what I mean? It's like I guess you could say the same thing about the 8-bit ones. It's like, well, he looks like he's made out of blocks, dude. And I'd be like, yeah, you're right, but that's awesome because blocks rule, bro. Like, blocks suck. Like, but I don't know. It's so unimaginable to me that like it's fun to imagine. That's all I can say. Like I'm like, well, but they'd have to. The game is so short and so small that it would have to be something like what they did with the new Metroid 2 remake, like where you take the basis, like what they did with Link Between Worlds, take the basis of this game and like make something much bigger and much more dynamic and like add to it, like with respect. Which is where I get really weird about the idea of doing Zelda 1 again, because I'm like, this is too sacred. Like it's like you're talking about like remaking Super Mario Brothers. Like
I mean, they already did that back in like the 16-bit era days.
Right. Yeah, they call it New Super Mario Brothers though, and everyone knows how good that was.
No, I mean they made they made a trilogy for the SNES.
Yeah, they started a whole series. That's how good it was.
True. Yeah, you guys are right. To me, it's like it's hard for me to imagine. I guess I make the point. It's hard for me to imagine it. It's just like what, like
there's Cloud and Smash Brothers. Imagine it.
Yeah, you're blowing my mind here. Like,
look,
anything's possible.
Here's what they're gonna do.
They're probably not gonna do it.
They're gonna remake Zelda 1, and I'm gonna call it Breath of the Wild. I'm calling it right now.
Think you're onto something?
Yep, you're onto something.
Yeah,
I don't know. I like the Minish Cap.
People thought it was gonna win Game of the Year, but then Mario Odyssey came out. And they were like, wait, we could have won Game of the Year back-to-back years, but we're stupid.
I think Skyward or Minish Cap. You guys' ideas are really good. I think.
Yeah, I feel like Skyward's a more accurate guess.
Yeah, probably. Even though I didn't like the original Zelda, it would be cool to see it remade.
Yeah,
but I think they might be lazy, and they might type HD it instead.
Oh yeah, just be like, or Twilight Princess HD, where they just port it.
Look amazing. Like,
it looks better. They at least added like different lights and whatnot. Twilight Princess is like, yeah, the resolution is like better. Here you go.
Like, I mean, that's the way I could see it. I mean, it would be nice. Like, maybe they'll add some stuff to make Skyward Sword not shitty, like how they made Wind Waker faster. But Wind Waker HD, I love, dude. I think that's such a good remake, man.
Here's the problem. I mean, I thought Skyward Sword was decent, but I don't know if I'd want to go back to it after Breath of the Wild, just because it's like so not, I guess, linear, but it's also like so claustrophobic. Because I'm just imagining it like I haven't technically played it for years, but I'm just remembering when I had to capture footage for my Zelda video, and I spent like 10 hours in that game recording footage. So I mean, I had to run around in certain areas to get the shots I wanted. So I have a pretty good idea of some of the areas again, but I don't know if I'd want to go back to that because it's just so
it's so
closed off
too. Like, it's a lot of work. You
There's
can't
no
touch up this game lazily. Like, at least like with Twilight Princess, like the game was already clean. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh man, this game looked ugly. Like, it looks fine on the GameCube and the Wii. Yeah. Like, Skyward Sword does not look good. Like, no. I mean, I'm saying Mario 64 and Zelda Ocarina of Time look way better than Skyward Sword. Like, it just, I don't know. I don't like the art direction was like, I don't know what to do. We like Wind Waker, but we like Twilight Princess, so we're gonna do whatever we want. And I'm like, yeah, but paint doesn't work in 480p. Like, can't.
I kind of think it. I don't know. I like the art direction in Skyward Sword, but I kind of think
I like the drawings, like the art concept. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they give you pictures and like the booklets, and man, I'm like, wow, this looks nice. Like, you know what I mean? Like when they have that picture that's like famous of Link when he's like swinging the sword and he's got the blue on it. Like, I love that, but yeah, dude, freaking.
Yeah. I would play Skyward Sword again almost in a year or two if they were working on remaking it, because I've said it before. We beat this to death like several times. We talked about Skyward. I just think it looks terrible because the draw distance is so bad when you're flying, and like there's so much pop in. Like, and I'm not the guy who cares about that stuff always. Like, for God's sake, I'm a Nintendo player. Like it's like, but like that game, I really noticed it because when you'd be flying around, it was so much fog, so much like I just didn't like how it looked. I didn't like the pastel look of the town either that much. Like, to be honest, the hub world or whatever, but I could play it again if it looked better. I think I would enjoy it a lot better. I did like that when you were actually in the worlds and fighting the bosses and stuff like that. I thought there was a lot of great stuff there. Like, I would play it again, but like that main gripe, like when you're flying, it's supposed to feel awesome, and it felt really annoying to me after.
Yeah, that was annoying. Yeah, because you got to keep flapping. That's stupid.
Yeah, it was like this is trying to be Wind Waker with the boat, only it's not as cool, and the soundtrack isn't as good. So
there's like nothing in the air to do.
Yeah, there's nothing to do here. I mean, you could make the same complaint about the ocean, kind of. Like, I mean,
there's at least some small islands and things you can visit, and like there's monsters that come in the ocean and whatnot.
Yeah. Hey, so, nobody's saying Wind Waker's a bad game. It's awesome. I hear you. Like, it's like, it's So, but you could see it in Skyward. I would think you were trying to do that with flight instead of like, instead of the boat. They nailed that idea in the most recent version, like, because it's so much fun to like fly around with your like cape, or whatever you call it, your little parasail, whatever, like all the time. It's so much fun that I'm at like 70 hours and I still enjoy doing it like every time I play. And I'm like, that you nailed it this time. I don't have to hit the stupid flap button like every few seconds and stuff like that, but anyhow, interesting discussion. I mean, like I if it is a Zelda, like then they're really working that back catalog, but who knows? It wouldn't be bad because it's going to be 5-6 years till a full new Zelda, obviously, at this point. So we're in the time when they need to start planning for like something to hold us over. So
just to end off on that, look up Skyward Sword HD. Someone put it through the Dolphin emulator and like crank the settings. It looks really good.
Oh, interesting. I will do that. I will do that. Interesting. Cool. Right. What else is in the news, bro?
Oh yeah, I want to mention this quickly. Besides this podcast, Uno is also available on Switch.
I know. I saw that. I tried to screenshot the store. If people aren't getting it, like my handle online is Unoclay. Like I saw that and I discovered you cannot screenshot the eShop. Yeah, I was like, I wanted to screenshot it and put it on my Twitter and be like, should I buy it and see if anyone voted for it? And I was like, and then I'd say, no, I'm not paying for, on a freaking game. I have a deck of it right here. I'll play it. But yeah, it was funny. I saw that Uno is available. Like, it's not uncommon. Actually, when I was in Japan, I saw it for Game Boy, and I was like going to buy it, and I was like, I'm never going to play this. Why would I spend $5 in this? Like, I'm just going to have it, like, lay in there. But yeah, neat. What else?
Oh man, EA or Eli would have been good to talk about this because he had a thing. But EA Games is saying they're going to wait before they make more games for Switch. They said they're going to wait until the Switch has been out for a year before making full plans, which is in a couple of months, March. I don't know why you would wait that long, but whatever. I guess they want to see 1 year sales or something. They say it's too early to judge the success of FIFA 18, which released September. I don't know if the game is missing some things. I wouldn't be surprised. And then that could also be a reason why that game isn't selling. But it sounds like their PR is just like, we'll put one game on it, and if it fails, then we're done with the system, just like the Wii U.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, what has EA got that we care about? Tell me a game I care about.
Well, controversially, they have Battlefront 2, which looks really good, but all of their games, well, not all of the games, but it also has microtransactions and all this other garbage jumped into it. So I would say third-party support is, you can't go wrong with more games, but at the same time, who also wants to pay money to unlock characters that should be basically in the game anyway?
Right.
Man. That unloaded today.
I've never played Battlefront. I'd be interested. I mean, like, I've heard its name a lot. That it's
just
what were you called? Carl's Duty.
Yeah, Carl's Duty. It's
Carl's Duty killer. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I'd be interested, like, vaguely. But I mean, like, what else they make? I just associate EA these days with sports games. Like, I just think of Madden or something.
Yeah, that's all I could think of too. I forgot they made other stuff, to be honest.
They have Mass Effect, which went down the gutter with Mass Effect Andromeda. So that game's gonna. I don't see that series coming back now. They're making a new game called Anthem, which is kind of like Destiny.
Mass Effect died with Andromeda, right, or something like that.
What?
Like, Mass Effect died with Andromeda or something.
Oh, Andromeda. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I couldn't
think
of
it.
That's what it was called.
They
just
like,
hey, let's make it as terrible as possible, and everyone's like, I hate this game now.
They made
Mirror Force? Did they do that?
Mirror's Edge, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know Mirror Force too much.
Mirror Force. They basically own a bunch of companies. They bought Respawn, which made Titanfall. So that company is gonna...
No, I thought EA. Oh no, they funded the first one.
Yeah, it's weird. I thought they owned them too, and I'm like, oh, I guess now they actually do.
Yeah,
but
like, you know what? I think we should actually buy them. Titanfall's not bad. I mean, Mirror's Edge, I could see cool on the Switch. You know what I mean? Like, that seems like a game that would work. But yeah, I mean, there's really nothing. Like, EA doesn't really impress me too much. Like, all I can think of is Madden, dude. And NBA is 2K. Their NBA series is bad. Like, they're and the show, PlayStation owns baseball, really. You know what I mean? So you won't get anything special out of that.
Right. Yeah. See, I don't know. They're not the ones I care about. That I'm like, in any way, like, out of the third parties. I'm like, Capcom, get your game together, bring me some Resident Evil, like that kind of thing is what I'm looking for. Like, I didn't like the one Mass Effect game I played. It wasn't that compelling to me. Like, wasn't my kind of thing. Like, I know it's a very popular series, so I could care less about stuff like that. I'm like, nah, I don't need that on my Switch. I mean, it'd be good for Switch if they brought like a Mass Effect collection or something like that. Maybe people would buy it, but maybe that ship has sailed. I mean, that's been around.
Oh wait. No. 2K does the what's that famous popular game that people like, BioShock, right?
Oh, I've never played.
Oh yeah,
like 2K and Revolver.
They're under, I think, Take-Two, and Take-Two said they're like going to support.
That's it. So. Take-Two. I know I said 2K. Yeah. Take-Two.
Take-Two, I think, owns 2K. So you're not.
Yeah, that's it.
Wrong
I know that you see them on their the L assist. So.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. I mean, like I said, we can live without them, and I think that's why they don't really care about supporting us either, because it doesn't seem like our audience would be one that would be
Yeah, like who's gonna buy that stuff? I mean, because like I'm curious about how was FIFA the one that just came out by EA? Is that by
What came out?
Yeah, they said FIFA.
Oh, FIFA. Yeah, FIFA is EA though.
Yeah.
So my friend bought that, and he wanted me to come play it with him. We haven't had a chance.
FIFA is a fun game.
He said it was pretty good. Yeah, he said it wasn't terrible. He was like, it was all right. He's like, it's not like anything crazy. It's soccer, He's like, it's cool.
Yeah, it's not an easy game to play, but I'm not gonna lie. My first ever year in college, dude, like everybody played FIFA.
Oh yeah,
and it was mad. It was really fun. Like I had no idea what was going on. It's really hard to score a goal.
Yeah,
I'm more of a Mario Soccer kind of guy.
Totally, totally. Me too.
Like Super Strikers. I'm waiting for that to come back.
Yeah, dude, that system. I feel like we can never hope for Strikers to come back because you would have to get level 5 to make. I think it's level 5 made that game for them. Like, and they're just never going to do it. It's like lightning in a bottle. Like, it's kind of like trying to remake like Smash. You really have to have that original team to like make it exactly right. Because that Strikers Charge was so awesome. I played hundreds of hours that game. We've talked about it before, and it's just like, I don't know. I don't have high hopes that's just that series ever being good in the way it was. Because it's just like it's like the way you guys feel about Melee. It's like it's really tough to capture that again. Like to get that exact balance of the game like right. So I don't know. Strikers Charge. I would like. What Matt? This is the poop episode. What poop metaphor haven't we used? I would poop my bed and then I would sleep in it at night with excitement. Like if they made another Strikers game like with some new mechanics or something like that.
So,
but
here's the thing. What company did you say? Oh yeah, no. Level 5 or Factor 5 or whatever didn't make Strikers. Next Level Games did. So
Next Level.
They did recently Luigi's Mansion, Dark Moon, and Federation Force.
And Punch Out. They did the Punch Out remake and all that stuff. I remember that. Totally. Yeah,
when did that come out? That was like 2008, right? 2009.
Yeah, 2009.
You should be proud, Matt. I think they're a Canadian company. Like all hail. Like I think they do good work.
They're like the one company Nintendo has Canadian, or one company, or one of few companies that Nintendo has that are Western.
Yeah,
it's that and Retro.
Yeah,
there might be some other ones.
No, Monolith Soft is they're I feel like they're West Coast, like so they're Western.
Really? I don't.
But yeah, I don't think so because they only do Japanese games. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next Level Games. I got to remember that. I always say level 5, and then it's like wrong, and I should know that because they deserve.
Yeah, level 5 is Layton. Factor 5 is
whatever. Oh, dude, did you hear in the Mario Party 3DS remake they got rid of the Koopa Kid?
Yeah. Oh well.
They're like all the original Mario Party games that had them. They're now Bowser Jr. It's like.
Hasn't even
the one when there's like 3 of them.
Yeah, there were 3 of them. So how did they replace it? They just get rid of the other 2?
No, I didn't know anything about it.
And Mike, yeah, you were right. Monolith is an American developer. They're in Washington.
Yeah.
I thought they were Japanese because I just remember they made like Xenoblade or whatever.
They do Xenoblade. They do.
But then I heard, they made Shadow of Mordor. I'm like, wait, what?
Oh yeah, dude, I forgot.
So that threw me off. I'm like, wait a second, but I thought they were Japanese. Brain fart. Brain melting.
It's like, we only work on Japanese games. What the hell? They're American.
Yeah. I don't know. That's weird.
Well, anyway, any more news? We should talk about the one news of the week. Like I came into this like it's the news that isn't news, but it is. It's the hugest news.
Sorry, quick interruption. Okay, no, they're two different. There's 2 different monoliths, and that's why it's confusing. So Monolith Productions made like Shadow of Mordor and all that crap, and Fear apparently, and Monolith Soft is the Japanese one that made Xenoblade and all that other stuff. That's why it's confusing. They have the same name, but their secondary name or surname or whatever you want to call it is different. Dang, confusing companies. Choose better names.
Well, we've been going for a long time here. We should mention the one thing, the biggest one in a way that I was excited to talk about, Matt. You know what I'm talking about. Like the biggest news of the week.
Poop on Switch.
There's virtual poop games are on Switch now.
Someone went outside and was holding up the Switch, and a bird pooped on it. and it's going hot on Twitter.
Yeah, they poop. If poop is that you can now enter the 21st century on your Switch, and you can use Hulu on your Switch. It is now available if people aren't aware.
While you're eating a poop sandwich.
You can actually do something besides play video games on your Switch. It's insane. We know you can't believe it, but like I couldn't believe it because it was such a like kind of non-event that they announced like, oh yeah, Hulu's available now, and it's like, to me, it's such an insane world we're living in here. Because I've said it before on here, but like to reiterate, like I feel embarrassed when people that don't know games see my Switch and ask me about it, and there's constantly this level of like, oh, so they assume it's a computer and they assume it has normal things that the modern world expects, like internet. And I'm like, no, it doesn't have that. And like, it's hard to explain it to anyone because there is no explanation. You're just like, yeah, I don't know why. There's no internet on it, and there's no Netflix on it, and there's no web browser, and there's no nothing. There's just games. And yes, the games are awesome, and you buy one, but I'm having to be an apologist. And like, it sounds like, according to the one blurb I read, it was just like, well, there was like it was literally just a technical barrier that they needed Nintendo to address to get it on there. And then they said it was easy, and bam, there's Hulu on your Switch. Like, and that means to me, I don't use Hulu personally, but I do love Netflix, and I can't wait. I'm like, okay, so here we go. Like, that's awesome because like there's been a lot of times like that I can use my Switch in any room of the house. It's the Wii U what the Wii U should have been, and I have my Switch with me here. And it'd be really great if I wouldn't have to like go get a computer or like get my TV up and running here. I could just like click over to Netflix and watch something real quick while I'm cooking or something like that. And I don't have a way to. So, yeah, Hulu on Switch, big news to me. I was like, this is almost like the news of the week in a way it should be, because like all of us should be like rejoicing that it like Switch is going to become a normal device, like to some degree real soon. It sounds like, at least.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, from the interview, basically there's something that the Switch didn't have that is good or that's necessary for like all streaming apps. So we should probably see all the other apps roll out within the next few months.
I would hope so, because I mean they didn't make a big deal out of this. It wasn't like they waited till like a Nintendo Direct to drop it on us and be like, you can watch movies on your Switch now.
I mean, would honestly, that would be pathetic if they did.
I know,
like, right? Okay, everything else in your gosh dang house has Hulu on it. Your fridge can probably access Hulu for crap's sakes.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's what I mean. Like, that's why I'm like laughing about it, because like they didn't make a big deal out of it. So it's like, thank God. Like, it's like they're treating it like it's just a feature that we didn't have up and running. That's it. No fanfare, but you can do it now. Like, there wasn't even like in your Nintendo news feed on your Switch, there wasn't even an announcement about it. Like, I had to find out about it from the internet, that it was like, oh yeah, by the way, you can do Hulu now. And I'm like, I feel like this is like underreported news. I'm like, this is huge. Like this is them fixing a device. Like, granted, better late than never, but better late than never. Like, you know, like okay, like here we go. And like you said, I hope it's like there isn't like some reason they're going to hold it back. Like they're just going to let like at least get a web browser on there and at least let Netflix, like the biggest, you know, YouTube, Netflix, all the real big players, you know, like get an app on your system, you know, like get Twitter, Facebook, whatever. I don't know if they're going to go that direction real soon, but, you know, the stuff people want, you know, just fill in the blank with the top 20 apps, you know, or whatever that people use the internet, you know, use with the internet and get them on there. Get the ones you can on there, you know, and, you know, get this device.
I would be surprised if either before the next Direct, if they have some more apps going up, or during the next Direct, they'll have like a short, like 30-second blurb where they're like, hey, here's a bunch of apps coming to the Switch. Like, not focus on one thing, but just show like a wall of different icons like Netflix, Facebook, Twitter, all this other crap. And just be like, look, this stuff is coming, moving on.
Yeah.
Like, I could see them do that.
I would really wonder if they want stuff like Facebook and like on there natively, but I feel like they should just give in and do it.
I mean,
but
they already have it built in to post to those places, so if it wasn't on there natively, it would also be weird. It's like, well, you want us to share on it, but I can't also access it. Like, I think it's more of an inevitability.
Yeah,
it'd make more sense to do it since it's already like integrated somewhat than to not do it.
Yeah, to some degree. I feel like
they first need a web browser.
I mean, like, I don't even know, like, the background deals and the money that goes into stuff like that, and like who pays what. Like, there's that factor, but like Facebook is like a little bit like it. If I was the guy running the show, I'd have some pause that I'd like. We need to think about this carefully because it is like the front door to the internet for a lot of people, but it also is a really toxic environment. And like, we all know how Nintendo feels about stuff like that. I mean, I know they've integrated that you can post.
I mean, Miiverse could be a toxic environment.
Could be, but they monitor the crap out of that. Like,
well,
they
did, but the last you should see some of the posts they had before or the last couple of months, apparently.
I was so mad that I missed the drop date of like Miiverse because I would have totally been in there like sullying and ruining my reputation and just drawing penises on everything. I would have been like, dude, the mods can't be working anymore. It's like 24 hours till we quit here. You know, like I'm going to draw penises on every post.
Yes. That's pretty much what happened.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I was really mad.
Unrestricted access to anyone. There's just going to be a bunch of dicks.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to like hype our podcast, and at the same time, anyone that responded, I was going to draw a picture of a dick for them and just be like, there you go. Like, there you go. That's what our podcast is about. Dicks and craps. There
Come on the podcast. You got poop.
Yeah, we got poops. We got poops, bro. So, yeah, but anyhow, that was the news of the week for me, or like the last 2 weeks since we like convened last, because I was like, oh my God, like, look at this. We're getting there. We're getting there, people. So, yeah, that's it. Anyhow, Hulu.
So
I don't use it.
I can't even use like 90% of those apps because they're all like US based only. Netflix is the only one.
Oh, really?
Same with when the Wii U had it. It's like, oh, you have Hulu and Amazon Prime and all this other crap. I'm like, yeah, this is like when they had their TV service, which is basically like a collection of all those apps. I'm like, yeah, I can only access one of them, so this is pointless. I don't know how it was in Europe. I'm not sure what they have access to, but I think it was more so an American feature than it was for any other like country.
I did not know that. Like, that's weird. Like, I had no idea. Like, I didn't know that those things had region barriers. I had no idea. Like, that's unfortunate. Yeah, like, because I don't use Hulu. I already have Netflix. It's like I have enough TV to watch. Like, I don't need another streaming service really to pay for. Like, so it's like, to me, this is just like, if they never did Netflix, I guess I'd sign up like for Hulu maybe, but like, don't let Hulu hear I said that, because then they'll try to do that. Like, but no, like, it's like I would just really like to have the accessibility of it, because why not? Like, I got my I mean, sure, I could watch Netflix in other ways, but it just feels like one of those things that's like so obvious. Like, I shouldn't have to like wait for it. I shouldn't have to fight over it. So. Like it would be much appreciated, Nintendo, if you ever listen to our humble little podcast here, get the Netflix there soon. It is, as you know, a fairly popular app. If you haven't heard of it, look it up.
I don't have it, so how about that?
You don't have Netflix? Crazy. How do you watch like TV? What do you got? Crunchyroll or whatever? You hipster.
Well, I mean, when I'm home, I have Verizon, and no, I would never pay for Crunchyroll. I just ARD maybe. That's how I watch TV.
What do you? I don't hear what you said. What did you say?
Don't worry about it. Matt knows.
I heard you.
Full black flag.
Gotcha. All right, Matt. So what else we got here? I gotta start to wrap it up.
That is it for this week.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Alrighty. Yeah, it's a lot of news. All the news is fit the poop.
Yep.
So much news. Much news.
All the news that can fit in your poop.
Corny news.
Gosh, so much poop today, man. Gosh.
I know. All right. You can find me at the Manga Viking on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and VidMe. Hopefully, I'll have a video out within this month. Don't quote me on that, but I'm hoping for it. Or trying to. Mike, where can people find you?
Alright, guys, you can find me Gaming Night Live on YouTube, and you can also find me TroyFB on Twitter, baby. And then do that good stuff. Give that young guy a follow, and check out those memes. I mean, educational tweets.
Who was that in the background? Was that Billy, your brother?
He's
Oh my
I believe he's watching something very funny.
Oh, okay. I thought he was laughing.
Yeah, no.
You were saying that. It's timed perfectly.
Yeah, it was. I totally set it up. I was like, he laughed.
Yeah. All right. And Unoclay, where can people find you?
Yeah, Clay has nothing. We don't need.
I got nothing on the internet that you got to look at other than my Twitter, which I post pictures from my Switch on and make snarky comments about things from my Switch. But I've even had to tamp that down because I'm so deep into Isaac, I don't want to spoil it for people who are just playing it. So I try not to post too much. But Unoclay_Switch on Twitter if you want to look at some game pictures. And yeah, you want to look at game pictures. You're into games, right? Look at game pictures on my Unoclay_Switch. It's the only place on the internet for your game pictures. So look there. And if you want to send me a friend request on my Switch, I am Unoclay on Switch, but you can get my friend code from that Unoclay_Switch Twitter feed. That's it.
Cool. I've noticed Mike has now become the new Eli, and Eli has become the new Mike, where Mike is actually showing up and on time, and Eli is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah. Well, Eli's in his junior year, right? That's like the hardest year. Like, the last 2 years are way harder than the first 2 years, in my opinion. So it's just
I'm my mistake. I actually missed one of his posts. He said that he was alive or whatever, and that's all I saw. But he said he can't record tonight, so I missed that.
Yeah. At least he does contact. I'm like,
yeah. Mike just showed. Mike didn't even say anything in the chat this whole day. And then I click the record button, and he's the first person to show up. I'm like, wait, what the heck?
I was like waiting the whole time. I was like, come on, dude. Like, I was pre-recording the recording while I transcribed it, right? I was like, Michael sits here and waits.
I like how we're doing this at the end of the podcast. This is like the inverted timeline podcast. We're like, and at the end, we're talking about who didn't come.
I mean, he could have come. It's all that time. I gave him an hour and a half to show up, and he didn't. How dare you?
Correct, man.
All right. Play us out, Matt. Play us out.
Wherever you're listening, you can find us at Just Another Castle on basically every platform on the internet. Hit us up with your questions, if you want to be a guest at Just Another Castle, or directly to me at Twitter at the Manga Viking. So until next time, leave gaming to Nintendo.
Never.